land some good kisses. So let's see if Shanks prioritizes that here. But they've done a great job of giving this line some space to get some initial farm. Like, this is still a really steady blink timing of about the 50-minute mark. They're starting to get some of that split push going with their Arc Warden as well. Tino's lined up down bot, shoving it in. He's got the backup of his supports in the lane. Of course, their top tier 2 is being shoved in a bit by FBZ. So you don't really want that to drag on for too long. And the rest of Boom are lining up for a bit of shove-in.
Kill off Mac. There goes your bristle.
Balance the scale.
I thought that would maybe be a little bit more favored towards Omega, but losing Sam H like that definitely wasn't the greatest start to a team fight.
Definitely not. He was trying to hide in the tree line to catch him out, and it was him by himself. He had no backup until he was being chopped. They were much more focused on taking that bot tier 1 in exchange. So Boom managed to get some big kills. And getting the bristle back as well is very important for Boom and very detrimental to Omega. They have to remember that Mars is
ouch. Hyde, he just stuns him once and the Ice Blast comes flying through. There you go, Hyde, letting him know about it. While that was happening, Dreamer, so he'll just keep pushing out the tier 2 top tower. It's not going to take too long along with his siege creep, but the glyph is going to come out. But the counter glyph now. Boom Esports, they are committed. They've lost the siege creep though. But they're just going to use Dreamer Cell and Makoto and slowly chip away this tier 2 top.
Yeah. The one thing in these fights is that, you know, it didn't happen in the last fight, but if the spear lands in arena, you have to remember that forces the hero to face front. So for Bristleback, that means Bristleback is not going to be active. And if FBZ actually lands the spear in the arena, you're in for a world of hurt there on Mac's side. So he really has to keep trying to dodge that initiation here.
Best out on Makoto. He has the dragon form up. He just needs a target, and Sam H going to be very careful at that top lane. They will more than be happy to just try and jump in after him first. Makoto now going to show himself in that dragon form. Sam H going to show himself trying to defend, but he's been caught out. Ice Blast is there. They've got the lockdown. They've got the LZ. Mac is going to try and come in and help out, and Sam H is brought back. They will take the fight, but for now they've only got FBZ, who is still just taking all the damage. They'll get the duel off. Kescute is going to be able to TP away. Dreamer Cell will do the same. They are unable to stop anyone else. I suppose they at least got a duel victory on FBZ, but they committed a buyback for that. It's not going to feel amazing for Sam H or Omega.
No, definitely not. They managed to defend their tier 2, so in that sense it's a bit more worthwhile, but they need to get more out of it. They go into the Roche here, they're going to try to force it out. Without the arena, it's a bit tricky to fight in, but they can still cause a casual Ice Blast. But what all the minus armor Bristleback does give you, it shouldn't take too long. We will find out.
Hyde. Seen the Ice Blast. What's he doing there? He's thinking about cooking in, but I don't think it's going to be a great idea, and he's not going to make it in time. In fact, now he's been caught out. They'll commit the sharpshooter and the finger and just blow him up. Wishful thinking with that cookie, but he was scouted out by a warden. I suppose there was no real way it was going to work once they had the vision.
It's a great objective for Omega to take. They've got a bit more presence here with their Bristleback. Mac can afford to really just be that big body up front, force all the attention onto him, and that's going to be key. He has to be that buffer zone between him and the Arc Warden in these fights. He has to be the one getting everyone's focus, copying all the spells. For the side of Boom, they could kind of take it slow at the moment. They could wait for these BKBs to line up, wait for the Aegis to expire first. They're very close to that BKB on Mikato, and Mikato is actually lining up in that jungle.
He is top side. He has found Shanks. Ice Blast gonna land. Stuck around for the Earth Spike, and I guess it probably would have made a difference anyways. Now Tino, at least his Tempest double was being chased down, but they aren't going to be able to get it in time. But Boom really seemed quite dedicated to trying to go after this tier 2 top tower. Makoto with this dragon form now should be able to finish off whatever's left of the HP pool. I suppose in the meantime, Omega, they'll just keep the farm up on Tino, and you know, it is still working out. Tino is top of the net worth board. Not really struggling. You've also got the bristleback right behind him. So Mac still farming just nicely as well, and we'll see if this farm translates later on, as FBZ now is invested up. He breaks his own smoke. Sam H now going to be spotted out. However, Spear does not land, and that's the only stun they had.
Try harder.
No Ice Blast even thrown out.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Small mistakes kind of costing them the kill. Can't really even snipe out this Tempest double as well.
Nope.
Too close to expiry. The side of Omega, and the farm distribution's nice between the Arc Warden and the Bristle. I think you're really taking major hits on Sam H though. He does have 3 dual wins, so he has some damage on hand, but you kind of want to give him some space for maybe that Heaven's Halberd to come true. Already has the Ag Shard. That's another major spike for Omega, right? Free BKBs flying through for your Bristle or your Arc Warden. They're going to be kept up in the middle of these fights a lot longer, and they will smoke around now on Omega's end.
I think that's kind of the point of Sam H's game, is to just be there with the press the attack purge, and obviously the BKB going to be very effective.
Balance the scale.
It does really feel like it's all in on Tino on that Arc Warden, as it generally is when you have an Arc Warden draft. Omega, they are going to try and bait the side of Boom in by having Mac take down that tier 1 tower, but that's not really going to work out. Instead, they'll have to invade that triangle, and Shanks is going to be there with the Hex out. They've got the AA. CML going to move in. Ice Blast is there. Sam H going to try and find out, but FBZ gets the arena down. They will continue this fight, and that'll be Hyde going down first on the LC, and now Mac, he's pretty darn low with the Ice Blast down. He might just drop, but it does wear off. Mac now going to be able to escape his Makoto. He will get cookied away. Did have the buyback there onto our Snapfire. Hyde wanting to come back into the team fight, but in the end, I suppose that was favorable for the side of Omega.
Definitely so. They hold on to the Aegis. They lose their Legion commander, but that was after they found the dual win anyway. Boom kind of forced to buy back, trying to make something happen. They have to be really careful about these fights. Like, a BKB is already up on Mac. He didn't use it in the last fight. He's going to have even longer spell immunity in the middle of it if he wants to. And heck, even after Aegis pops, he's just going to save it for that second life. So your control on the Bristle, it's not going to feel amazing. Omega's done a great job of stalling out with Tino. He's already got his Gleipnir out, saving up for the Scotty next. And once you've got that Scotty, the Lifestealer and the DK are not going to feel that tanky up front anymore. They're not going to get that HP regen they'd like. The Lifestealer's not going to lifesteal as much as he'd love in his name. And Omega just continues to kind of find answers here. They've got this Desolator up and running on FBZ. They have ways to really burst down some of these heroes fast. They need to get a little bit more on Dreamocell. The MKB is going to help him out a lot. And once you have that, you can really start to burst some heroes down. They are still sort of running as Frito, but it doesn't look like they're keen for the smoke just yet.
I just feel like Boom might run out of time with this draft if they're not too careful. I mean, you've already pointed it out, but the Ice Guard is going to cause a lot of problems here when Tino has it up. Of course, the Aghanim Scepter as well being worked on now by Mac is going to be even more concerning along with that Eye of Skadi. Just so much slow, so much control, and it just feels like you can kite out so much once everything's up for Omega. Boom, they have now smoked up. This is really the key, trying to just burst somebody down before the team fight really begins, and they seem to enjoy just focusing on Sam H, getting rid of that LC, and it looks like they might try again. Smoke's gonna be broken. Pings out on Mac.
Jax thinks Radiant's bottom tower is
Mac may be a little bit too hard to burst down immediately, and Boom, they are gonna think better of it. They'll back off. There was actually a scan out as well, catching them through the triangle. And that's gonna be it. Boom are out of there.
Not finding that opening. They did go in a bit blind. They didn't really have the best forward wards before popping that smoke. They got a flip ward down at the very least, so they've got some information to play with. But Omega are happy with us. Like, they don't need to fight. They sit back. They can save up for Max Ags coming through next. And that's the big annoying spike for the Bristle. He's just able to really keep up Warpath on Max charges, so have to just wait out that spike. Boom though might run into him.
Pings out. Mac is spotted. Boom, they are struggling to find a way to try and start the team fights now, and I think they're really respecting the amount of farm that Omega would have. Probably understand as well, Tino might actually get involved in these team fights from this point on. Especially with the Gleipnir up, you could definitely afford to get involved with your team. He may choose to maybe decide to try and just finish off the full Eye of Skadi first. We'll see. The die triangle again. Icebar's going to fly through Makoto. He'll go after the Lion FBZ. He's going to be there with the Arena Spear right on to Mac. Mac, can he survive? It looks like he's going to pop his BKB and be fine, as now they'll turn up to FBZ. Jewel is out. They'll lock him down. They'll get the kill. Mortimer's kisses are out as well, but it is way too late. It's a bit of a rush job there from Boom Esports. Just seemed like a very kind of panicked initiation, and they didn't really respect the bristle, they didn't respect the LC, and it does cost them.
Jax thinks
Yeah,
radiant.
it's not coming out cleanly at all for Boom. These engages are costing them the core, and they only really find support. The lead throws up to 3K, and now Omega, knowing these spells are down, they could look to play aggressively themselves.
Mac, Ice Blast is gonna land. Won't have the follow-up damage though. You can already see Dreamer Soul queuing up his own Eye of Skadi now. Along with the Sange and the Ghoul Frenzy is what they call it. The Eye of Skadi, the slow will be quite insane from the Life Stealer. You basically won't be moving. But now Omega have smoked up. No Roshan up. We'll head up towards the top side of the map, see if they can find somebody to pick off. And, well, that's going to be a nice one. They found Dreamer Zone. There's your Hex Sound. He already used his Infest to try and get the Tempest Stumble, but he's going to get jeweled down. FBZ, he tried to be there in time, but it will not be fast enough. As now Omega, they would love to chase.
Here,
Try hard.
They can't catch anyone.
What a bounty!
But they got the biggest target, and that's all that's going to matter.
Radiant's top tower.
Get to do a bit of a shove in on that top tier 1, clear out that objective. The side of Boom needs to really be a bit conservative here. They can't keep just matching this Tempest double 1 by 1. You never know if Smart Omega smokes behind. Their vision game is still not the best to spot those movements out. They will plant some more defensive wards by the ramp to start watching that Roche as well. But their tier 2 top now is being shoved in slowly. They are forced to fortify. And even then, their bot's also being shoved in. That bot tower's just gone. Tino clears it out from constantly shoving it in with the Tempest double. So Omega's really getting the map space out to enable their greedier start. They've got the 5K lead. The time to punish this kind of strat has kind of come and gone. And we mentioned that in draft. Boom needed to play a little bit quicker here, really maximize their blink timings. They were playing aggressively, but some of their target prioritization early on really weren't clean, and now they've got to be a bit cautious as they try to build up on
Sam H, he jumped right in. Arcane was picked up by Makoto. They're going to go for the find out. Sam H will get bursted down. Mac, he's going to try and go after FBZ, but he pops the BKB and runs. He is outnumbered. He'll be okay in the end. Very close call. And an immediate smoke up. Now with Sam H down, they want to definitely try and take the fight.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire
Tino, oh, that'll be a nice one. Tempest Stumble not going to break the smoke. Makoto being very patient. Did he spot Tino though? He barely misses out on the right target. Mind you, Roshan is up, so they have that for themselves if they want. But instead, Makoto is still just trying to find another target. Even with the Shadow Blade up, Makoto, he's not going to be able to find anyone. They have run out of time for Roshan, but they're going to try anyway.
They can still rip through it. The Dream Assault's build up. They've got a good amount of damage here, especially once the Solar Crest and the little Shredder minus armor come into play. So it should slow them up, but Omega are the ones smoked up now. They don't have vision in the pit. They should know something's up. They don't have a scan though, so this might just go for free here for Boom, and that's going to be Aegis, Cheese, and Shard. Big amount of power spikes here for Boom Esports. They will be a lot hard to deal with. 2 lives in Dreamo Cell, Cheese up in Mikado. They've got safety nets to play with. They've got the open wounds now on Dreamosol, and that's really going to help try to kite around Omega. Additional slows on hand is always great, and some additional lifesteal will help them in the man fight. So I have to watch that. The lead of Omega is just down to 1k. Most of that gold is riding on Tino, really, as you drafted Sam H, and he hadn't really allowed Mac to grow too fast. And the investment on the Arc Warden still has to pay off, and Tino is rushing BKB. So the Arc Warden will be able to join in a couple of these fights now. Once that item's up, Boom has to be a bit cautious about that, as the Arc Warden, well, he's looking pretty scary. He hasn't really shown the full power of his Skadi and Gleipnir yet, but once his BKB's up and running, having the Arc Warden in the middle is going to complicate the engagements for Boom.
Boom's now shown back up at the bot lane. Got Shanks around at the tree line. He'll go for the Hex. But for what? Shanks? What was that? Oh, the Tempest Stumble goes down as well. Omega, probably a bit of miscommunication there. I think the idea was that the Lion gets in, he gets the Hex off, and the Tempest Double comes in with the damage. But maybe Tino kind of fell asleep there, and well, they end up missing out. It was a very strange kind of kill attempt to go for.
Yeah, it's not the biggest kill to give away. I think you're not completely upset, although losing the Tempest Double was probably a bit more painful. That Gold Swing is never something you want to give off. And Boom, they're not going to ask the questions. They're going to shove in the bot lane, line up for the tier 1, start to open up the triangle a little bit more for invasion. They've got that deep ward watching the backside of the triangle as well. So once they take this tower out, it should be easier for them to look for ganks in that area, get more successful smokes going. And for the most part, Omega's not quite responding. Focus on shoving up top. They've got a massive creep wave, the tier 2 top. It's not that healthy. You might end up with a 1-for-1 trade here if you're not careful on Boom's end.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Sharpshooter barely missing there onto Dreamosol. Go ahead and heal up on the Ancients, and well, Dreamosol's about what, 100-200 gold away from having the full Eye of Skadi up. You may as well just go finish that off before you get into another fight. It will offer you another big power spike on this lifesteal. So that's exactly what they're going to do on the side of Boom, is just give Dreamosol that time. Omega, they just don't seem stressed about this though. Like, as long as Tino's farming on the Arc Warden, they seem more than happy to just keep this game going. They even got the tier 2 top tower. Makoto, he'll try and TP up to defend, but he's not going to be able to take the Tempest Double out in time. So at least you bought enough time for Dreamosol to have that Eye of Skadi up now. And they might even go in for a team fight this bottom lane. FBZ is waiting around to see if he can find a pick-off. Tino is certainly there, but they don't have anything like a Tinker Ward to really scout Tino out.
And over here,
He's going to back off to the base again.
Not the best use of time there from the side of Boom. We did see a bit of an infest onto FBZ just to get Dreamosol out as well, so they're trying to be efficient and get some farm up. They don't have too much time left in the Aegis here from Boom, only about a minute left. So they haven't really done much with it but farm. They do, however, have the Silver Edge up in Mikado. They've got a nice break to deal with Bristle, but higher.
Items up going down to Tino's Tempest Double. Meanwhile, Makoto with the Silver Edge still unable to find a target. Omega have been very good at hanging around their tier 2 towers and not really allowing them to go down. Now that protection as well from the Silver Edge that has been picked up. As Makoto, he's going to try again. He does run into Mac, but he can't get the hit off. In fact, Omega, they're going to be there. They're going straight in. Dreamosol. They want the lifesteal. In fact, no, it's FBZ that goes down. Now Sam H going to be in trouble, but so will be Makoto. As now Omega, they really group up around the lifesteal. The buybacks are coming through to the side of Boom, but it might just be too late. Dreamosol, he needs their help right now. He is not going to get it. The Aegis is down. Maybe they can protect the secondary line. But Omega, they're happy with the buybacks. They got the Aegis, they got the 2 buybacks they wanted. It's a pretty big win for this dire end.
It's a bit clumsy of Boom. Like, they kind of stream in one by one to the fight. They don't really get the infest target they want. They're playing offensively with the infest as well. You don't have the option to just inject someone with a flash burst to HP. And they aren't really able to do much. In fact, Mikado, why is he man-fighting here? Mikado? What? Why?
Well, this is why we're doing the tiebreakers, John. So, I'm not sure what happened there.
He just fought the Tempest double. Just straight up. Tried to fight it and lost.
Maybe just assumed it was going to expire or something. It's hard to figure out why these guys do the things they do sometimes, you know?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's a lot of gold, but if you can't man fight it, don't man fight it. Sharpshooter, he's gonna fly in. Nice setup there from Sam H. FBC, not gonna get hit by the arrow. They still have a lot of damage. And it looks like they might get him a no. Dreamer Soul with the infest gonna save the day for a little bit, but not for long. Now they'll turn onto Dreamer Soul. Things are looking very bad for the side of Boom Esports as Dreamer Soul is dropping way too low. He's gonna try and fight back. They'll turn the glyph on the towers. Omega are looking so darn strong now. It's a 5v3 scenario. How did Boom try to defend this one? They'll use the kisses first up to get rid of the creep wave. The Tempest Stubble, it'll stand its ground for a little bit longer. Get the damage out. It might even get the tier 3 tower. And it does. Nobody gonna be able to defend it. And Omega, they just wisely back off. No kind of risking the game here. They've got a 13k net worth lead. There's no reason to rush. I like this kind of conservative play when you've got a draft like this. There really is just no rush here for Omega.
Yeah, they don't need to bang their heads against the wall here. Boom kind of missed out on that early mid-game timing with their blinks. They're scaling towards the late game. I mean, it can bounce back in. You know, Mikado can still itemize to be that big right-click DK, so can Dreamer Soul. After the Scotty, start to build some durability. Maybe look at the Ags. Honestly, I think Lifestealer Ags is really too strong. Like a 20-second cooldown in Infest can make all the difference, but it's definitely not a priority for Dreamer Soul, so that's still down the line. For the key thing for Boom now is kind of stall out. They just don't match the power spikes in Omega yet in a big 5v5. You've got the Ags up on Mac. He's just spamming the nasal goo out, getting Mac's Warpath every single time. Tino on the Arbordan's just too far back. You can try to blink initiate on him, but he always shows up after the blink initiation's done. So it's just really well disciplined here from Omega. And even Shanks, he's beyond, besides that one mistake he made down bot, his Earth Spikes have been really setting up for Sam H to run up, get the duels off, get the lockdown on one big hero, and then just find a pick off, go into the 4v5. Boom needs to respect that burst potential. It's still a lot better in Omega's hand. Boom do not have the best burst. Even with the Deso up on their Mars, just don't have something like Finger on their side. So they've got to be a bit cautious. I'd say if they can, target the back lines. Every single time they kill Sam H is nice. I think Sam H doesn't matter as much as Shanks or even CML. But these supports with their stuns are just breaking up the team fight of Boom, and they're not able to really avoid it in time.
Roshan, you back up. Boom Esports gonna make their way over. Spotted out. Omega immediately, though, this time around, not gonna allow the Roshan to go. Definitely gonna be looking for the fight as Tino with the Tempest double. Gonna keep the split push up at the bot lane. Omega, they're just gonna start. And I kind of like this. I like the fact that they're trying to force a fight as Mac. Leave Roshan alone. Look at Tino,
I
though.
love Arcane Rune.
Look at the Tempest double. Kescute's gone.
Oh boy.
Or is he? Yeah, he's definitely gone.
Oh god. Arbordan. Right. It's beautiful. And you have to say this as well. Mac, I think this is his Arcane Rune on Bristleback. You gotta love it when you get Arcanes on a hero like Bristle as well. Just keep the spam up. Look at Roach, he's gone. Free Ag's Blessing here to take as well. Really couldn't give that one out to. It looks like they might actually give it to CML. So we'll have the Boomerang.
No,
They pass it on. All right. Fair
I
enough.
was gonna say, it's the Hoodwink Axe doesn't sound that good.
But he's buying it though. Like CML has been queuing it up, so I'm curious to see the Boomerang in action. I don't even know what it does. Like, all right, he has a Boomerang, it goes around, marks people. Cool.
Kodo. Spot out one. He'll go after the line. Bushwhack not going to really be there. FBZ misses the spear. They will still get shanked. But now you've got to deal with Matt and the rest of the crew. Looks like he's happy to try and fight, but the sharpshooter does come through. Ice Blast is going to be there, but won't really land. Matt still in danger, but is still running. Now Sam H pops his own BKB. Remus not able to keep up as Mac looks to try and turn around now. He still has the Aegis up. Hyde's going to be targeted. Meanwhile, on the backside, they've got Sam H on the LC in trouble. Mac, though, he does get Hyde, but Sam H is gone. Mac now very low HP with the Aegis, but the nasal goo is keeping him alive. FBC's there. Does he have the damage output? Not quite, but there you go. Now they can set up with the spear. They get him. That'll be a dead Bristol. For the side of Boom Esports, but the bot rats has been pushed in. Tina, he at least got a range rats for their trouble. I guess that's something. We'll see if Boom Esports, if they can try to push some objectives now. I still think it's rather hard going into the Arc Warden as every lane has been pushed down. See what they can get done.
It's going to be slow going for Boom. They find some big kills, they make the Aegis basically just disappear, and they get the big target. That's what we were looking for in Initiation. They need to jump the supports first. They need to take care of the line, prevent the Hex, prevent the Finger from coming through. And as long as they keep finding the control of Omega, I think Boom can start to feel a bit better about these fights. So we'll see if they can keep finding those angles. They will need some time here to get the push going back. Respawn in the Bristol, it's not that long, so they don't really have the time to lock in a tower and even consider high ground. They will be able to get some good farm. AC's finally up for Dreamo Cell, so he is going to do a lot more damage. He's going to be safer from the Quills. I think that's something you kind of forget with Bristleback, but Quills are physical damage. So armor is going to help reduce a lot of that early impact. Of course, it still gets ridiculous as it scales up. We've got the Satanic as well here from FBZ, and we're going to go hunting with a bit of a smoke.
It's so hard though, these spark rates around. Makoto, he can't really be sneaky with the smoke. Now they just show themselves as Omega, they already knew. Once those spark rates pop, they know exactly where they are. The fun thing is as well, Omega haven't really fought with Tino yet. Like, Tino's been split pushing this whole game. He's still farming. He's got 5.5k worth of gold sitting there, and he still will not join a team fight.
Yeah, it's just important things. Like, he's sitting back, trying to keep the lanes pushed out. I think he understands if he dies, he is worth 37k gold. He will bleed a lot of that lead back towards Boom. This 18k lead on Omega is basically just artwork. You're not really ahead on Mac. You're lagging behind Sam H. They will smoke up on Omega's end though. Looks like they will line up for the top lane. No one from Boom there yet. They might catch someone out trying to de-shove this wave.
Remus, so he should know the nasal goose stacks were there on the Ancients for a second, but he will ignore them. Moving up, he may not realize. Now the TP's coming in. Tino, he's going to join for this one with the Tempest double. So he has his team behind him. Apart from Makoto, who is currently at the bot lane trying to split push that out. We'll see the Tempest double of Tino.
Radiant's top tower.
Makoto, he'll TP in and take care of it. The rest of Boom, they've smoked up again. This time, FBZ, he's going to be the one to find the Arcane Rune, so with a bonus for him as they do move into that dire jungle. Spot out back, that's what they'll go for. The speed going to land perfectly into the Ice Blast. Mac, he tried to survive with the BKB charge, but it will not be enough. that's a good start because he does not have buyback on that bristle.
That's pretty scary for Omega. Their big frontliner's gone. They're going to have to kind of concede these outer objectives. They are getting
Shanks.
driven on bot, though.
Shanks are trying to come in and get Makoto down, but this time they punish the Lion. Tino going to keep going with the Tempest double. In fact, he's going to try and fire back up against the DK. Makoto force the Shadow Blade and just try to run. He will survive. Meanwhile, the mid-tier 2, it does drop to Dreamer Cell. But this game is a bit too close for comfort for both sides, I think. Neither team really can guarantee they've got this game in the bag. So Mega, they're still trying to split push the top lane. Makoto's still trying to deal with it. Meanwhile, Dreamer Cell going straight through the mid. He's going to go after the tier 3 tower. They're just trying to buy the space for this Bristle to be able to just get back into the game. That's going to be it.
Pretty good set of objectives coming out from Boom. They can now start to pressure in mid. They're still being pressured top, though. They lost their tier 3, so Tino's doing a good job of split pushing here.
That he is, John. As every hard quarter tends to do. Just don't even play the game. You're just playing your own kind of RPG game here at Tino. Bit of tower defense.
Yeah, just pushing in, playing your one-man RTS. Boom, no. I think you worry about this side, even just having that tier 3 up. It complicates matters. The farm is still building up. Even the supports of Boom are starting to find some items. E-Blade up in Kezcute, so we've got a way of maybe piling on the burst, if ever, onto Mac. That could be pretty nice, and it could save himself as well from some of that physical damage coming through. Very nice for any support to have. Save your own core as well. Big possibility, and they are playing a bit aggressive. They do have the silver edge up with the Infest.
Kodo. Move in, will spot out Mac. Gotta know he has help behind him. Silver edge again. Wants the backside, I think, to Kodo, and he's gonna run into Shanks. That's the one they want. They want to get rid of this line, and they get him. Onto Mac. They love the Bristle next. Mac's gonna try and run. But he is going to be alright for now. The boomerang flies out into the sharpshooter. Dreamer Cell going to cop the sharpshooter. But there's going to be no follow-up to it. Get back to the backside now. Tino is going to show up with the Tempest double, but don't really get too much done. Tino immediately going to start split pushing out the top lane again. Fortunately, he's also going to get the bot lane. So, Boom Esports going to be stuck trying to defend. In fact, FBZ is going to be very careful. But it looks like he is going to be able to survive the onslaught of Tino's Tempest double. Top lane, Kezcute, Ice Blast going to be there on some Mac. They'll try to help out. The Bristle's dropping low with an Ice Blast. They'll get a great trade. Sam H, he got the jewel off this time, but it's going to cost his own life. While that's happening, Tino's just man-fighting Dreamers, or rather FBZ. FBZ drops the Tempest double now.
Oh boy. It's a back and it's best. 11k lead still standing here for Omega, but they dropped their Bristle, they dropped their line, and LC exchange for that Mars and AA. It's not too bad for Boom. If they're slowly but surely working this enough for it back, they only really have this big split push to worry about every single time.
He's got it. Tips out the Tino. Very much, Mr. Arkboard, for doing your job. Tino now might actually see a hero for once. Oh, Makoto's going to Sword Edge. He did spot him out and gets him with the Glaive and now Shanks is in. He's got the dust. They've got the DK. Makoto immediately going to get fingered up, but Tino, he'll get to work with the Bloodthorn. It is just way too much damage. Sam H will not stop giving it to him with the voice lines. Omega, they'll get their support duo smoked up again. If they want, there is a Roshan to play for right now. They might just have to wait out their Bristle.
Yeah, I think ideally you want Mac to pick up that Aegis now. I mean, Tino's just not dying anywhere. You don't have buyback on Mac still, so he's going to need that second life for security. And that should enable them to really eye the high ground fully. And they're already 1 racks up. They can clean up, get the mega creeps, look for tier 4s next. And that will put Boom in a really awkward spot. They still got power in them on Boom's end, but every single time they split up, or every single time they're Boom's under too much pressure, they just can't respond.
How is this hero still balanced? I don't... This Arc Warden, no matter what they do to it, this hero is just not fair. Now they go for the road shot. Look how fast they take a jump. Aghanim Scepter, Refresher Shard, Shards, Cheese, Aid, whatever you want, you've got it now. Mac is holding the Aghanim's Blessing. Who's he giving it over to? It looks like he's just taking it himself.
Yeah, free up the slot on the Bristle. Allows you to carry the cheese up front, so got that for emergency. I don't know about the refresh and Bristle though. That sounds kind of meh, I guess.
You'll give it
BKB's
over.
nice.
He might just give it over. I guess maybe he could use the BKB.
Yeah.
He's got an Abyssal Blade now as well.
Side of Boom, need to really be careful. I mean, they're just struggling against the Tempest double. Like they just can't deal with it. Even if they can kind of gap close, go into the bubble, it just doesn't feel great. And they're down to 1.5 racks here. Network lead back to 19k for Omega. They're just, you know, really whacking away, slowly chipping away at the sanity of Boom.
No, do not hit a creep right now, sir. Max, Tino, Tempest double, gonna be caught. Gonna be it. I say that his Tempest double's not gonna die. They can't actually kill it. And it'll get back to work.
Yeah. Just go for the rack slowly but surely. And, yeah, it's not fun for Boom right now. Definitely not fun. They're stuck in their base. They're stuck trying to clear out the creep waves. Omega just putting a chokehold on them right now. And they have basically everything they could ask for. Maybe just get, I don't know, Ag's Blessing on your Orc Warden to tidy it up, and an Ag Shard, because why not? Then you're truly all set in farm. Boom. I know what they can do here in terms of itemization. We're seeing the Divine queued up by FBZ. It's that point of the game. You just feel like you need the damage. The Mars is your best bet. Play around with your God's Rebuke there and try to make it work for yourself.
There goes the Tempest double again. Gets cute, almost dies even with the Ghost Scepter. He's gonna survive for now. I mean, yeah, I guess you're just gonna buy the Divine and hope you can burst everyone down with the God's Rebuke damage on FBZ. I'd say maybe Dreamer Soul should do the same, but it is a Line Stealer. It may not be worth it, as now they've caught him out. They've got the Mars there. He's going to be committed along with the Boomerang and the Sharpshooter, but none of them proves to be enough with the Infest. Now they go for more. CML, he's going to be just fine. Mac try to slow down Dreamer's Soul, but he's going to rage TP away. Oh, but they have the Abyssal. They will stun him up. He's going to just try and run for his life now. Mac will chase him. The Spear going to delay any form of chase left. Boom, they can't leave the base. It's impossible.
No, they have no option. The split push coming through from the Orc Warden is too much. The Divine is up for FBZ. That's the great journey of the courier back home. We'll see if this is enough, because FBZ has looked really squishy up front. As long as the chain stun combination comes through from Omega, he has to really ensure that he's in a very safe spot before committing the damage. Otherwise, you could lose the Divine, and that could spell the end. In fact, Dreamocell loses his sleep. Oh, Satanic as well in the courier. Not good.
Oh, no. That's pretty bad news. That Satanic's gone for 3.5 minutes now. The Dreamocell, and they're going to know about it on the side of Omega. They want to try and make something happen with this timing. FBZ going to reveal the Divine, but he's right in. Sharpshooter connects. He's still going to be all right with the Infest. But he does reveal the Divine now, and Omega say they do not care whatsoever. They just move right in as Makoto going to show up onto the Bristol. They'll try onto Mac, but the BKB from Sam H going to be there. FBZ still getting to work onto Mac. Might find the Bristol back and does with the Aegis. Now Tino with the Tempest double. Looks like he's going to drop. Is Mac No Aegis up, he still has the cheese. FBZ gonna try for the speed, but it does not land. Instead, Makoto, he found the Sam H. Don't get the Legion Commander, but he's gonna fight back. A nice earth spike. They've got the master finger out. FBZ, he needs help, he's lost it. Divine the deck, but nobody's picked it up. Nobody noticed. Makoto, he'll grab it. Back for Con. We'll see if it costs them later on. But now you've got to worry about this, well, FBZ's got the Divine back, so it's not really too big of a deal. Refresh up, BKB now available. The Abyssal Blade from Mac could be a bit too much of a desperate play. Sam H jumps in, but won't find a jewel. They almost have that melee barracks, though, but they aren't going to finish it yet. But they are about 400 HP away from having Megas up.
This is just nuts. Arc Warden just does way too much while Tino's main hero doesn't even show up. It's always just the double. They managed to snipe another courier with a Bloodthorn recipe, and so many items stalled out here from Doom. They need to wait for these to be up.
He caught out Shanks. Aeon Disc may save his own life. In fact, he goes. It's the mana drain for the free magic community, but it's still going to cost him his life. However, Tino got the Megas. Backdoor protection does not exist when you have an Arc Warden, naturally. And so now Boom Esports, they are going to be playing into Mega Creeps. Even with 2 supports down on Omega, I'm sure they're going to be more than happy to hold the base.
Oh, 100%. They've got buybacks up on the supports as well, so if things get dicey, they can just come back in. And Omega can always look for the split push play with their Arc Warden. Boom can't keep all waves shoved out. They just don't have that kind of ability as the Arc Warden does in keeping his waves out. And they're just going to be able to really abuse it. Like, it's 3 versus 5. Boom are just forced to kind of play on their side of the map. They can't cross over. They've got to wait for their couriers to be up for their item spikes. They're trying to get some farm up. They're trying to get a second Divine here, this time on Dreamocell. So it's still a long ways off until that point, but it's at they really need more damage. Like, just Divines on everyone. It's the name of the game. I like that FBZ's also going for this overwhelming blink buildup. So he just wants more HP on hand. It's not about the active in this case. It's really just having more HP to survive the onslaught from Tino right now.
I think the active does help a little bit. The slow is pretty insane, but yeah, I certainly agree that the HP pool is probably more important for FBZ. See, I think FBZ's been heavily reliant on Dreamocell being able to get the Infest every time he's in trouble. But we've seen how fast he can drop if the Infest is not going to be there. Now, CML, he's got an Octarine core up on this Hoodwink. But this is still the past 5 Hoodwink, by the way. He's just had so much time to farm up now that he's at that point where he can afford an Octarine. And speaking of points, John, we're about 3 minutes out from tier 5 items.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, let's see if someone gets the beautiful Giant Ring. Of course, Giant Ring DK sounds great. Giant Ring Mars would be great.
I mean, DK, obviously the big model is hilarious, but maybe FBZ with the bonus strength, John. Maybe that's the play.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Mars has a lot of strength gain as well, so you can use that DPS on someone while you're in top. It synergizes as well with your arena. Just lines up for so much if they can stall out that long.
We'll see, is Smart Omega, they are definitely the ones in the lead here. Tino, kept a stubble, should be just fine. Makoto gonna get catch out CML. They'd love to start with the Hoodwink, and Ice Blast is gonna fly through, but CML is still invis, but it won't matter. They'll get him in the end, but Mac now, he'll get started on the fight. The Bristle, the Shanks on the line. They get the Earth Spike onto Dreamocell. They want to burst him down through this duel, but the Monolith Kiss is doing so much damage. They might get bursted. Makoto has dropped on the DK Dreamocell. He's still trying, but it's just too much damage from Tino. Shanks will move in a great Earth Spike out. He catches both supports into the bushwhack, and now the boomerang out. Matt gonna have his way along with Tino. They will team wipe the side of Boom Esports. The buybacks are there. Boom are gonna try and hold. They've still got both their supports available with buyback to boot. But if you want tier 5 items now up for Omega, you can certainly just hold the base and just go back to the jungle. Don't allow the side of Boom to get into the jungle, and you'll just have a massive item advantage.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for Boom. FBZ could not join in. He's busy B-shoving his base, basically holding the high ground, preventing the mega creeps from hitting the tier 4s. So your big divine carrier was busy clearing out creep waves. Never good news. A lot of the damage was gone, and now FBZ's playing really risky by walking into the triangle.
They are.
He's carrying the divine. I mean, he doesn't have buyback gold as well, so if he drops in the middle of that, they just lose divine. They lose a man down, and that could be the end. They have to be more cautious on Doom's end if they want to have a shot at this.
I think they're trying to get some control over one of the jungles, but now, yeah, there's FBZ getting caught out. Shanks is out with the X. There's your finger, and FBZ, he's gone. Dieback immediately, Divine on the deck, but it looks like Mac has picked it up, and now the team fight breaks out. If they look at the Snapfire, Hyde's gone. Dream himself, he's going to try and fight by himself on the Life Stealer, but he has not got his own Divine, as now Mac will just chase him down.
230 damage add with a Warpath maxed out. He's hitting for 1,000.
Good. Just perfectly balanced along with an Arc Warden, John. Why the hell not? I knew they were lacking damage.
I think actually going to go back for Roshan first. They might. They find the Rosh. They're going to take Roshan number, what's this, 6 now. They get
John.
5 items lined up. Beautiful.
We've got a Ballista, by the way, on Omega.
Oh, God,
He
yes.
can take it. He's got the Skull Ballista right now, but he could take the Ballista. And that would be just impossible from that point on to kill off Tino.
Yeah, he's gotten the career. It's flying out. That's beautiful. That's just unfortunate for Boom. Let's see if they're actually just going to fire him up tier 5s first. Maybe to get a nice Giant's Ring for their Bristle. That would also be pretty spicy, but nah. They're like, all right, let's end this game. Finish this tiebreaker up.
Oh, Dream as well. He got hexed immediately into the jaw of the sharpshooter. He's gone. That's it. GG's called. Omega Esports, they will pull off the Game 1 and Series 1 victory. And as for Boom Esports, John, they're going to have to move on and try to fight Neon.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tough for Boom. They need that win to stay in the running because it's a race for basically the first team to hit 2-0, right? Then after that, it's head-to-head.